Want to let your children run around a store? Now you can be as worried as the workers are. I work at Target, and last Tuesday this mom came in with her twin boys who were maybe 7 or 8 years old. The second they walked through the doors, these kids took off running like they were training for the Olympics. Mom just stood there scrolling through her phone like nothing was happening while her kids were literally climbing the shelves in the toy section. I walked over and politely asked if she could keep an eye on them because we've had kids get hurt before. She rolled her eyes at me and said, "They're just being kids. Maybe if you had children you'd understand." Then she went back to her phone. 20 minutes later, one of the boys knocked over an entire display of glass picture frames. The crash was so loud that half the store turned to look. When I came over to clean it up, the mom finally looked up from her phone and said, "Well, why would you put glass so low where kids can reach it? That's a lawsuit waiting to happen." I'm standing there with a broom, sweating, trying to clean up broken glass while her other kid is now in the electronics section pressing every button on the display phones. My manager came over and asked the woman to please control her children or they'd have to leave. That's when she started yelling about discrimination and how we were targeting her family. She demanded to speak to corporate and threatened to leave bad reviews everywhere. Meanwhile, her kids had moved on to the clothing section and were pulling hangers off the racks. But here's where it gets good. While she's having her meltdown, screaming at my manager about customer service, her kids wandered into the grocery section. One of them grabbed a carton of eggs and started juggling them. You can guess what happened next. Eggs everywhere. On the floor, on the shelves, even on other customers. The smell was horrible, and we had to shut down that entire aisle to clean it up. The mom finally noticed when another customer started yelling at her kids. She stormed over to where the mess was and immediately started blaming us again. "Why do you have eggs where children can reach them? This is completely irresponsible." But my manager had already called security. When the security guard showed up, he told her she needed to pay for the damages and leave immediately. The mom started recording on her phone, saying we were harassing her and her children. She kept saying, "This is going viral. You'll all be fired." But then one of the other customers who had been watching this whole thing spoke up. This older guy in a veteran hat walked over and said, "Ma'am, I've been watching your kids destroy this store for 40 minutes while you ignored them. These workers have been nothing but patient with you." The mom tried to argue with him, but he wasn't having it. He said, "I raised 4 kids and never once did they act like this in public because I actually parented them instead of staring at my phone." Other customers started nodding and agreeing with him. That's when she realized everyone was on our side, not hers. She grabbed her kids and started heading for the exit, but security stopped her at the door. They told her she had to pay for the damages first. The picture frames, the eggs, and the time it took 3 employees to clean everything up. She tried to argue that it wasn't her fault, but the security guard pulled out his phone and showed her the store's security footage. You could clearly see her kids causing chaos while she completely ignored them. The total came to about $200. She finally paid up, screaming the whole time about how she was never shopping here again and how we'd lost a loyal customer. As she was dragging her kids out the door, one of them knocked over the wet floor sign I had put up while cleaning the egg mess. The veteran guy looked at me and said, "Don't worry, kid. She'll be back next week. People like that always come back." And he was right. She came in the following Tuesday, but this time she had a babysitter with her instead of the kids. The best part, she tried to act like nothing had happened and was super friendly to all of us. When she got to my register, she even asked how my day was going. I just smiled and said, "Much better when kids aren't running around the store unsupervised." She turned bright red and hasn't brought her kids back since.